West Asia reaches a fever pitch. Israel and the United States find themselves on high alert, bracing for a potential Iranian assault. Diplomatic efforts to broker a ceasefire in Gaza have also intensified, with international mediators racing against time to prevent a wider regional conflict. Our next story explores whether a deal can be reached in time to avert a wider conflict.
The spectre of an Iranian attack looms large over Israel. Diplomatic channels are working overtime to secure a ceasefire in Gaza. The US, standing shoulder to shoulder with its ally, has ramped up military preparedness in the region, deploying nuclear submarines and additional aircraft carriers to deter aggression and safeguard Israeli interests. On the other hand, international diplomats are scrambling to broker a ceasefire in Gaza, hoping to prevent the conflict from spreading further. However, hopes for a breakthrough are dampened after Hamas announced it would not attend the peace talks scheduled for Thursday. The absence of Hamas at the negotiating table adds another layer of complexity to an already fraught situation. In Beirut, US envoy Amos Hochstein says he thinks Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah can avoid the war.
We continue to believe that a diplomatic resolution is achievable because we continue to believe that no one truly wants a full-scale war between Lebanon and Israel, especially not the Lebanese people and the Israeli people.
But the bigger fear is of an Iranian attack on Israel, and the clock is ticking. But there is hope on the horizon. US President Joe Biden says Iran could skip attacking Israel if Gaza deal is reached.
We'll see what Iran does, and we'll see what happens if there's any attack. But I'm not giving up.
Tied together, do you have the understanding that Iran could cease or stop doing an action if a ceasefire deal is possible?
That's my expectation, but we'll see. Thank you.
Tehran has rebuffed calls by Western leaders to stand down, vowing to avenge the killing of Hamas chief on its soil. There has been no let-up in fighting in Gaza, where residents of the southern city of Khan Yunis say Israeli forces blew up homes in the east and intensified tank shelling on eastern areas of the city center. Israel claims it is responding to Hamas rocket fire towards Tel Aviv and has struck rocket launching pads and militants among 40 military targets over 24 hours. A ceasefire deal would aim to end fighting in Gaza and ensure the release of Israeli hostages held in the enclave in return for many Palestinians jailed by Israel, but the two sides remain divided over several issues. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
For more on this, we earlier spoke to Mohammed Samir Khadr, executive editor of Daily News Egypt and a political analyst. This is what he had to say.
It now all stands on the stance of Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, if he is going to accept the previous proposal pushed forward by President Biden on July 2nd, regarding the two-phase ceasefire. If the diplomatic pressure on the Israeli government made them accept, in principle at least, this returning to this proposal, then Hamas will have no other choice but accepting.
We also spoke to Mohammed Baharoun, Director General of Dubai Public Policy Research Center, to know his views on the ceasefire talks.
The whole point at this point is to delay the attack. Delaying the attack would mean two things. One, US-Israel can increase their preparedness for retaliation, which we've seen, or provide more space for diplomacy. I think both of them are happening, and that's possibly is a good reason to think that there will be a positive outcome rather than a negative outcome.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.